Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is the look I filmed for you guys today. I hope you like it, and if you did like it, please do give me a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. So you want to start with the primer first. I like to put it on the center of my face first and then spread the remaining product out. Now for foundation, I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I'm yet to find my perfect shade in this foundation, so for now I just mixed 2W2 and 3W2. Now with full coverage foundations, what you want to do is just apply a thin layer first, because if you apply a thick layer, it might look good right now, but after a couple of hours it starts to cake up a little bit. So apply thin layer, and then if you need more coverage, go for a second layer. And I'm using a Real Techniques sponge here. And now for concealer, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium. I personally like to dot my concealer and not really have a full triangle, because I feel the triangle puts in a bit too much product for me. So using this fluffy brush, I like to pat the product in first, and for the edges, I like to blend it out. So pat, 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 and then blend the edges out so that it mixes with your foundation seamlessly. And then moving on to contour. Honestly, I'm not a contour person, but if you do use a full coverage foundation, your face tends to look washed out a little bit. So just to add some shadows and dimension, I'm using this NYX contour stick, and then I'm just blending everything out. Now once you're done with liquid products, you want to set everything with the powder. So I'm using this powder brush here and setting my entire face. Now if you have dry skin, you might want to skip this step, but personally I would suggest a light dusting of powder just to make sure everything stays put. Now for eyebrows, I'm very lazy. I've been using this for ages, and I got this in an Ipsy Glam bag, so I'm not even sure what the brand is. Basically I mixed the two shades in and I just fill my brows up and I'm done. And now for my eyelids, I'm using the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. I like to use my fingers because it's a cream product and I feel this blends better if I use my fingers. And then for our first eyeshadow, I'm using the light brown shade and I'm going to put it directly on my crease. Now the trick with eyeshadows is that you want to be very gentle and blend as much as you can. So I like to blend around my crease, and then on the very edge I like to push the product out a little bit, like in a triangle, outer triangle. Here's a more close-up shot. So once you reach the very edge of your eye, you're basically flicking the product out a little bit, just like in the form of an outer triangle. This will give a more elongated effect. Now I'm choosing a darker brown from the palette, and I'm going to place this on top of the first eyeshadow. Just place it with an angular brush, and then once you're at the very end, you want to form a lower triangle and connect that shadow to your lower lash line. So this again forms a triangle, but then you're connecting it towards your lash line first, and then you're going to flick it out as well. So basically you're connecting the two shadows and adding a gradient effect. Now blend everything together with the same brush we used in the beginning. Now for the very last shadow, we are using a golden pigmented shadow. So I'm going to place that on top of my lid with a flat brush. You want to dab the product on top of your lid and then just blend the very edges of the product. So just place it on your lids first and then blend the outer edges so that you have a more gradient and a seamless finish. Now for the last time, we take the first brush again, and then we just blend the three eyeshadows together so that it's a more gradient effect and nothing is too harsh. Just blend on the corners and where the eyeshadows touch each other. Now for the lower lash line, I'm taking a flat angle brush and I'm going to mix the two browns together and apply it as close to my lash line as possible. I start at the bottom and then I just go a little bit on the top lash line as well, just to have a connect between the two shadows. Now moving on to eyeliner. For a wing line, what I like to do is I like to start as close to my lash line as possible, and then once I reach the end, I draw a straight line across and then I connect it to my lashes in a form of a smaller triangle, and that's how quickly I finish my wing. Now for mascara, I like to go a bit heavy-handed, so basically you want to wiggle the wand and blink. That's how I feel that you get the best application. So I'm doing multiple coats of mascara here. I do the top and I also do the bottom lashes as well with the same mascara. Now moving on to lips, I'm using a Lippy by Colourpop in the shade Beeper. Now when you're lining your lips, you want to stretch them out just a little bit so that you have a perfect and a crisp line. And once you're done lining them up, you want to go back in with a thicker line so that the lip liner blends in with your lipstick better. And for my lipstick, I'm using Colourpop liquid lipstick in the shade Beeper. I personally love this color. I think it's flattering for almost all skin colors, and it's perfect for day and night time. Now with liquid lipsticks, you want to be extra careful and apply a very thin layer, because if you do apply a thick layer, they tend to start to chip at the end of the day. So be very even and light-handed, and be extra careful on the edges. Just thin and small gentle strokes. Now I'm applying a bronzer here. I'm using the one by Bahama Mama, but any brown eyeshadow with a gray undertone should work. I'm applying this on the hollows of my cheeks and also on my jawline, just to add some depth and definition to my face. And for my blush, I like to apply it with the fluffy angular brush, and I'm using my Bourjois Blush, which I had for years now. Basically smile and apply it on the apples of your cheeks, and start with the light layer first and then build it up. Trust me guys, I had to adjust my scarf a million times during this tutorial. It kept coming in the way. Now to set the makeup, I'm using NYX mattifying setting spray. I like to be a bit heavy-handed when I'm spraying this, and once I'm done spraying, I take my beauty blender and I push the product inside just to make sure that my makeup lasts all day. And that's it guys, that's all for this tutorial. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe, and let me know what you want to see from me in the future. Take care.